everybody, I just want to give you a quick update on MULN and what happened during court today and what the next procedure is going to be. So let's get started. Please remember, nothing I say is financial advice, and always do your own DD. Okay, everyone, if you could smash that like button for me as it helps out with the algorithm, I would greatly appreciate it. And let's get started with what happened during the court hearing. So essentially, the judge ruled in MULN's favor so that the current share count is valid. Guys, I have to be honest with you. I am very glad that they did, because quite frankly, if they did not, we would have had even bigger problems on our hand. Now, that being said, we still have to vote on the second proposal, and that's in regards to increasing the authorized shares. I think I've been very open about my feelings in regards to this, that I think it's absolutely a ludicrous amount of shares, and I am voting absolutely not. I am not trying to tell you how to vote. That is only a decision that you can make, but I just think that it is really, really insane and huge dilution. You know, if it were something reasonable, I would absolutely consider it, but this is just excessive in my opinion. Now, that being said, we still have to vote on that as far as the reverse stock split goes. That means that our vote the other day is valid, so the reverse stock split is on the table. Now, remember that David is using that vote for the proposal for more shares kind of over our head, but personally, that's not even a consideration, because he's going to do the reverse stock split when he wants to, if he needs to, no matter what. So why dangle it like a carrot? Like, if you don't give me shares, then I'm going to reverse split. You're going to reverse split anyways if you have to. So, okay, I'm still voting. No, you can't have more shares. That's enough. But anyways, you guys can do what you like in that, and just be sure that you vote. Now, that being said, I think that the reason that we haven't seen much movement in MULN, to be perfectly honest, is because there seems to be something trending right now. And that is this huge naked short war that is like totally blowing up Twitter and every other social media platform. And I know that I personally asked David Mitchery to step on board, because I think it's obvious to anybody in MULN that clearly we are being affected by this. And even the CEO of Hellbiz asked Salvatore Paella asked Mitchery to join the fight. And did we get a response? No. David Mitchery did respond to somebody's email saying he's looking into it. Well, that's great, guys. That doesn't mean jack crap, because if you were a CEO of a company, wouldn't you just respond that back, whether you were or not? Because that doesn't mean anything. So better you just get the person off your back by saying, yep, I realize it, looking into it. Now, my point in regards to that, and personally, if he doesn't do something about this, I will wait for the next run and exit my MULN position, because that says a lot. And the only reason I could think of that a CEO would not step on board when their stock is being mutilated, literally mutilated, would be that they have something to hide that they don't want exposed. So whether he does or he doesn't, I don't know, but I can't see any reason why he wouldn't go to bat for his shareholders. In fact, it's his fiduciary duty to go to bat if he knows that there's a problem. And clearly it's been brought to his attention. So David, if you're watching this, I suggest that you consider doing what's right for your shareholders. You ask an awful lot of them. You dilute like crazy. And I'm not to say that all the dilution is bad. I mean, some of it is good dilution. Look at everything that we've accomplished in the past year. But I also think you need to consider slowing down on the shares that you're granting yourself and cashing in on. It doesn't look good for shareholders when we haven't even delivered a single car yet. So I'm not saying you don't deserve to be compensated with shares, because I absolutely believe that you do. However, when a company is in the building process, I think, you have to be realistic. And I don't think that I'm asking that much, or that shareholders that agree with this statement, because I'm getting it from a lot of them as well, are asking that much to ask you to hold off on that. Whether you do or you don't, I don't know. But I'm telling you that shareholders are your biggest asset, but they can also be your biggest demise. And to lose shareholders because of excessive dilution and not even, adding shares yourself. A lot of CEOs like Salvatore Paya and Helbus, he's buying up shares because he knows it's so cheap. So if you feel that, why are you cashing in yours? And why is it that you're not buying at these levels? I just don't understand it. At any rate, that's my quote. I'm not going to go any further into my little rant on that one. But guys, let's look at what happened price-wise and where we're headed. So our average volume over the past 3 months has been 221.5 million shares. And today we were low. In fact, we've been low recently, only 176.06 million. Now, guys, it could be a good thing because in general, when the volume starts to slow down, it's getting ready to make a big move higher. It's just a capitulation period and generally is followed by a move up. However, this being the case, I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. I think a lot of shareholders feel similar to the way I do about feeling like if we don't give vote on the shares, that it's a threat being held against us, an unnecessary set, almost like treating us like children. And I personally find it offensive, which is why I would never vote for it. However, that being said, guys, I'm glad that we have the reverse split card on the table because to be perfectly honest, I think that it would be a lot worse for us if we voted no on that. Because ultimately, if you do not have that on the table, what happened to EVFM could easily happen to MULN. And if you're not familiar with that, they didn't vote on the reverse split because they thought they were going to get their natural. They got 9 out of 10 days and got delisted to OTC land because they couldn't get the 10th day because these hedge funds don't want them to. And then they proceeded to short the freaking crap out of it still in OTC land. So it's down to like 5 or 6 cents. And guys, that is a great company. So I don't understand it. But do you want that to happen to MULN? No, we need to have the card for the reverse stock split on the table. Doesn't mean we need to use it. But if we don't have it, I assure you they will not stop. All right, now, so let's go from the volume as far as that goes today. As you can see, we are still showing that we are going to move down before we move back up. Do we come and tap that 18 cents again? I don't really think so, but you can see there's kind of a support line that we're very close to. Perhaps we bounce off of it, maybe even dip below it, because if you look, if we're forming a wedge here, that could be a possibility too, before we move higher. Now, again, could we possibly touch this? I mean, it's a possibility. We could double bottom. I can't say for sure, and I think a lot's going to have to do. I think that David is a very intelligent man, and I do believe that he realizes that if he does not say he's going to fight these naked shorts and hire Sharontel, that things probably aren't going to be too good for MULN, at least in the short term, while people have this in mind. Now, currently, as you can see, institutions only own 4.97% of this company. And the main shareholder, guys, is us, others. We own 79.47%, corporations own 5.25%, and insiders own 10.32%. So, that being said, a lot of these naked short companies have something in common, and that's that there's very little institutional ownership and that there's a lot of retail ownership because they're stealing our money. Plain and simple. And David, they're stealing your money and they're stealing your market cap. So I don't think there's any logical reason that you could give any one of us for why you wouldn't want to fight for that, especially where there's other CEOs standing up and fighting the battle as well. Now, the short interest is currently at 14.83%. Guys, take this with a grain of salt because I don't believe a single thing on Fintel anymore. They say that there's 300,000 shares available to borrow and that the cost to borrow is only 13.37%. Now, this is why I don't believe it. How are you going to tell me that the reported short volume every day for the past 2 weeks, and we all know that it's been a lot higher than this prior to this, has been between 44.51 and 54.09%. And you want me to believe that the short interest, though, is only at 15%? I don't think so. Now, granted, the short volume ratio is only the shorting that's being done in the dark pool, But guys, the majority of MULN's shares are traded in the dark pool. You can go on Market Chameleon and look at any single day, and I assure you, it's somewhere between 60 and 80%. Maybe here and there you might find a day where it's in the 50s, but I don't remember the last time I saw something like that. Now, as far as failure to delivers go, this month's getting very juicy because they ended the last 2 weeks that they reported on. December 30th being the last day that they reported, was still over 4.5, well, close to 4.5 million shares, 4.44 million. So what does that tell me? Well, I think some of the reason you could see the price dropping right now is because we did get a little run up. I'd like to see what the next 2 weeks shows us. If it shows us that this is increasing, that is very bullish for what's to come in MULN. And guys, I strongly believe there's a run coming. I strongly believe we have the potential to get back over $1 on our own. But I believe in order to do that, I think we could do it fairly quickly. With David just saying that he's hired Sharon Tell and is going to fight against these naked shorts. So I would encourage you, David, if you're watching, to strongly consider that. And to all of you, I would encourage you to ask him yourself to consider it. If he hears enough of us chanting it, then perhaps he will take note. Anyways, that's all I got for you